So I'm about to grind up all of this trim right here from the hindquarters, from the fronts, from the rib cage, neck, anywhere. I had a lot of leftover small pieces of meat after I took off my steaks, after I took off stir fry, my shanks for slow cooking. You end up with all of this trim, and this is the stuff that gets ground up into to make burger. So I can have venison burgers, whatever I want to do with ground venison. So you can see these are just a lot of small pieces. Some of them are pieces with the silver skin on there, and the silver skin takes some time to get off. And somebody asked, well, how do you get that silver skin off? And I said, you got to have a thin, flexible butcher blade like this. You can go ahead and get it underneath that silver skin and trim it off. You don't want to spend a lot of time trying to get that silver skin off of a little piece like this. So I don't like too much silver skin. Like this type of silver skin right here, it won't do well when you cook it. If you throw it in the pan and sear it, it's gonna curl up, and then it's gonna be really chewy. So that's why I take off the silver skin. And most people who butcher their own meat do that. They take off the silver skin. But little pieces of it like this can go in there because it's gonna get ground up and it won't really matter so much. But even when I am trimming my steaks down, I will get some quality cuts and I will throw them in here. I will throw them in this meat as well. So it's some good quality, really tender meat like this as well. So so that way the burger isn't just a bunch of trim with a little bit of fascia connective tissue to it, because if you have too much of that fascia connective tissue, it's gonna put these little harder clumps of meat, and it's not very pleasant. It doesn't offer for a pleasant eating experience for people. So I'm gonna grind these up. I'm gonna throw this in here. I'm gonna put this in this little grinder right here. This is just a cheap $150 grinder I got from Bass Pro Shop. And there's bigger ones that are better, but I really only grind up a couple of tubs of these from each buck that I get. So that's what I'm gonna do. This thing's a little loud, so I like to wear some ear protection because my ears are already jacked from shooting guns and listening to screaming girls. Now I got that venison all ground up right here. Look at this really nice ground meat right here. This is a good, I would say 10, 12 pounds. This is a couple pounds right here. I got some more in the storage freezer that I need to grind up, but I'm only doing just a little bit at a time because I got other things going on in the day I got to move on to. But I put them in these game bags, and these are just like 10 bucks, I think, on Amazon. And you can see it's got a line right here for about 1 pound, another line right here for half a pound. Sometimes I'll fill it up to a pound, and other times I'll just do a half a pound and put those in my storage freezer and ready to eat. Make venison burgers, make sausage, just throw them in some kind of stir fry and sear it up really quick when I'm in a hurry. I don't like that these are plastic, I don't always want to be supporting plastic products, but it's very time consuming to get butcher paper and wrap each individual piece up. And this is already time consuming as it is, putting all this effort and work into having your own sustainable, nutrient dense, ethically sourced meat here. So sometimes there are things that don't seem sustainable about it like this. So there's something I think about. But anyways, I wanted to share with you all my favorite process. I always talk about, having a hand in the process of your food from the land to the table. And some people say, I don't got time for that. Why don't you just go to the grocery store? And, there's a lot of things to say in that, but very briefly, we'll say that as we know that a lot of us don't want to support industrial ag. We want to be able to be conscious and compassionate meat eaters. I always say that, a hunter is tasked with transforming death to nourishment. And this is exactly what I mean right here. If I'm going to eat meat, then I want to be the one to get out there on the land, to put the energy in the work, put the miles in, expend the physical energy to get out there to find that animal and to send that animal on its way to the spirit world, and then use everything I can for our nourishment. It's a spiritual process. It's one that many people will not understand unless they are a hunter themselves, or they come from a family of hunters where they get to experience the bounty of a hunter. And if you are one that is interested in eating, meat from your land that's hunted, you don't always have to be the one to release the arrow or pull the trigger, or to field dress and quarter up the animal. You could be the one that supports hunters to do that. You can be the one that says, hey, I'll give you some gas money if you get out there, and I'll support your hunt, and if you give me some meat, or what can we do as a trade? And so, you don't always have to be the one to do it. You can still benefit from the bounty of a hunter by finding ways to support them.